3.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera dan salam UiTM di hatiku. Alhamdulillah, bersyukur kita kehadrat Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala kerana dengan keizinannya dapat kita bersama-sama pada petang ini dalam taklimat bersama Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi Tesl, ya. Baiklah, bersama-sama saya pada petang ini adalah Puan Nur Hashima Muhammad Sukor, ya, yang merupakan Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi Tesl di Pusat Asasi UiTM. Jadi pada petang ini Puan Nur Hashima akan berkongsi dengan saudara dan saudari mengenai program Asasi Tesl yang akan diikuti oleh para pelajar selama 2 semester. Jadi saya berharap saudara dan saudari dapat memberi tumpuan yang sepenuhnya terhadap apa yang akan disampaikan nanti. Dan saudara dan saudari juga boleh bertanyakan sebarang soalan, ya, di ruangan live chat YouTube Pusat Asasi dari semasa ke semasa. Dan suka saya ingatkan supaya saudara dan saudari menjaga adab dan tutur kata di ruangan live chat tersebut dan tidak membicarakan perkara-perkara lain yang tidak berkaitan dengan taklimat kita pada petang ini. Dan untuk itu, tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, saya mempersilakan Puan Nur Hashimah Muhammad Sukor untuk menyampaikan taklimat dengan segala hormatnya. Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Puan Wan. Untuk taklimat saya mohon untuk menggunakan bahasa Inggeris, boleh ya?
Boleh, tak ada masalah.
Okey, terima kasih. Saya share slide dahulu. Okey, slide show tak sekarang, Puan Wan?
Sekejap ya. Kalau ikutkan dah.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Saya mula ya. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to all our Asasi Tesl students. I am Puan Nur Hashima Muhammad Sukor, the head of Asasi Tesl program or Ketua Pusat Pengajian, here with Pusat Asasi UiTM Dengkil. Alright, before I start with my briefing, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you and to welcome you into the university. You are making a wise decision to be with us. For we assure you that you will have access to high quality education, relevant and updated, up-to-date and updated curriculum, and an exciting learning experience that goes beyond the four walls of the classroom. We hope that you will remain with us for the 1 year, and I can assure you from what I have heard from all your friends before this that Asasi, Pusat Asasi and Asasi Tesl have changed them tremendously from the first time when they joined until when they graduate. All right, let's start. Now, the purpose of this briefing is to actually talk about these two rules and regulations of the university and also to talk a little bit about the program. I am not going to go into so much detail with the rules and regulations of the university. I believe that Dr. Ikhwan, Isham, Encik Zaidi and several other individuals have shared with you extensively relevant information regarding their units. So I'm just going to highlight some of the points that I feel should be repeated, yeah? All right, and then I'll go into the program and that's where I'll go into more detail. All right, these are some of the reminders, yeah? Register and validate all your courses. This is very important. Every semester I get students coming at the very last minute saying they have not registered and they have not validated their courses. And this can cause a lot of problems, yeah, because it means that you're not an active student and you cannot sit for assessment, cannot sit for exams, and your grades cannot be considered. So it's important that you register and validate all your courses as soon as possible. The next one is for you to answer entrance and exit survey, in particular the entrance survey, which is at the beginning of the semester. This is important because we need to know whether you have improved from when you started and then compare your answers with the exit survey. It's also important for us when we want to review our curriculum to see whether we need to add more things, or if there are irrelevant topics that we should not include in the curriculum. So it's important that you do this 2 surveys. Yeah. Next one is that you should register for your Mohd. I think Madam Satya has already explained this very clearly, and she has emphasized also that you must sit for your Mohd as soon as this semester. Not wait until the end of the semester. Yes, we have Mohd on demand, but it's very late, and you might not even get a place. We've had cases where students didn't get to sit for their Mohd. The other reason why you should sit for your Mohd now is because, as mentioned by Madam Satya, different faculties, different universities have different entry requirements in terms of Mohd. We've had students before in the past who wanted to go into the Faculty of Education, for example, of UITM, in which the entry requirement for Mohd is 4, and they didn't get 4. So when they set for the first one, they got a 3, for example. That gives them the extra time to decide whether they want to go into a different faculty or to then quickly register for Mohd on demand. So it's not just for the purpose of entry requirement. Yeah? It also allows you to apply for whichever program that you want to apply for your degree program. Next one, complete students' feedback online. This is at the end of the semester. It's very important that you do this. If you don't sit for it, you don't answer this survey, you will not be able to have access to your exam results. Yeah. All right, moving on. And this is the course registration checklist. As you can see, you have to make sure you've done all this. And if you look at the last one, it says cetak slip peperiksaan. Of course, we are on full ODL, online distance learning, this semester, but you know, anything can happen. If let's say, for example, we have to go back to face-to-face and you sit for your final exam face-to-face, you have to have your exam slip. If you don't have your exam slip, you're not allowed to enter the exam hall. So make sure you print it, even though right now it seems like it's going to be full online, yeah? And this is on Mohd, and I want to highlight the one at the end here. The bottom here, it says Mohd is your responsibility. Pusat Asasi is not involved in the process of registration and administration of Mohd. It's definitely on you. We remind you, we tell you what to do, as in, you know, when to apply, you know, what to do and all that, but we cannot make you apply for it if you don't go for it. So make sure that you keep your eyes open, listen to all the reminders from HEA, especially from your mentors and from myself, yeah, from your KPP. This is the academic calendar for this semester. I believe your respective lecturers or mentors will have this given to you. As you can see here, we're going to start our lectures on the 9th of August until the 26th of September, and that's going to be 7 weeks. And then you will sit for your mid-semester test for 1 week, and then you go back for your break. If you are at the hostel, if you're at the hostel, maybe you will have to stay at the hostel. But if you're at home, at least during the mid-semester break from the 4th to the 10th of October, you don't have any classes. It's a break time for you. But you will come back on the 11th of October to the 28th of October, and that's another 7 weeks of this semester. And then you've got only your revision, your exam, and your semester break left. It seems like as if it's a long time, but I really suggest that you get yourself a diary or get yourself a calendar, yeah, to indicate all these dates, because then when you see it in writing, you'll be able to see that it's actually not so long. It's only around 4.5 months, and you want to make sure that you manage your time very carefully here. Attendance, 80% is the minimum attendance requirement. You will be given a ZZ and can be barred from taking your final exam or your final assessment if you do not adhere to that 80% attendance requirement. Your first meeting for the first 10% of absenteeism, which means it's roughly around 2 times, yeah? Depending on how many times you see your lecturer. If you don't see them, if for a 5 credit hour paper, you don't come twice, then you will be given the first warning letter, yeah? So you don't want this, because if you are barred from the final exam in the first semester, you will most likely fail, and you'll have to sit for the paper next semester in semester 2, and that's going to be a little bit heavy. So try not to come less than 80%. Make sure that you look at when you get your timetable, make sure that you keep to the timetable, yeah? Extracurricular activities. It is compulsory to participate in extracurricular activities because there's a 10% merit. This is especially important if you are thinking of applying for through UPU, yeah? And the reason why we have this is, of course, you probably can say it's only 10%. Why does it matter? But it matters. Sometimes you can do so well academically, but you don't have marks at all for your extracurricular activities. Some universities, some faculties may not want to take you in because you're not demonstrating a holistic behavior. It means that you are probably just, really good academically, but you may have some issues with extracurricular activities. So you want to make sure that you participate. There are many clubs. I think Encik Zaidi has already talked about that earlier. There are many clubs that you can join. You just have to choose one that is to your liking, that can pick your interests. And you will see that actually sometimes extracurricular activities can be the outlet from the stress and pressure of academic obligations, yeah? Okay, so not just because of the 10% merit, but from our experience, we know a lot of students have said extracurricular activities, as I said, has helped them to manage themselves even better because they feel that there is an outlet to de-stress. And this is our Sasiah Rupa Diri Pelajar UITM. I know you will say, why does it matter? We are online, what I wear, because I switch off the camera and all that. But you need to know that there are times when your lecturers will tell you, okay, I want you to switch on your camera now, just for a little bit, just for a while, for 5 minutes, that's it. Especially in the first class, yeah. We want to get to know each other, so we say, switch on your camera. We want to see you. We want to have a look at you. So you want to make sure that you are well dressed at that time, yeah? Okay, so this is the Sasiah Rupa Diri. And of course, as I mentioned before, you never know if we are all allowed to return to face-to-face. This is the code of the dress code for students, yeah? All right. We're going to go into Penasihat Akademik Pelajar Siliaan, or PUPs. We call them mentors, and each group is assigned to a mentor. There are 15 groups for Tesl, and so each of this group will have one mentor, and the mentor's role is to monitor students, academic progress, discipline, course registration and validation, your MCs and extracurricular marks. But I would like to highlight one of the most important roles of a mentor. They can be your shoulder to cry on. Online distance learning can be a lonely process, a lonely journey, because you're so far away and detached from your lecturers, from your friends. You're stuck at home. You're not allowed to go anywhere. And some of you might be at home where it is less conducive, or some of you are probably at the hostel, but still not many of you guys will be here. So it can still be a lonely journey. So your mentor can actually be your shoulder to cry on. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your friends just yet, your mentor is there. Other lecturers are also there. Of course, you are free to approach any of the other lecturers, but your mentor is readily available for you. They will teach one of the courses that you take. So if, for example, you're in PI 020T01, and let's say I'm one of your lecturers, so so therefore I'm your mentor. I'm also teaching one of your subjects, so I'm always readily available. Okay. And that's important. I think that's very important because it's a very different time now. We are so used to face-to-face, to have to do ODL can take a toll on us emotionally and mentally. So that's the reason why I wanted to highlight that. Mentors already know what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to look at your progress, academic progress and whatnot. But the shoulder to cry on is, I think, a role that I would like to highlight to you, so that you know that you can come to us anytime that you feel, when you feel there's a need, yeah? Class reps and assistants. Okay, each class will have one class rep and one assistant appointed by you, okay, your friends. It's a democratic process, and your mentor must agree to it. And in the past, I had some students who asked, can female students be class reps and male students become assistants? Well, there's no gender bias here with us. A woman can become a class rep, a man can become an assistant. It doesn't matter to us. What matters is that as a class rep, as an assistant, you must make sure that you can play your role. You are very important, because you are our access. You are the access for your friends, yeah, to information, important information that your lecturers might want to share with you. This is especially so if it's after lecture hours. Sometimes there are questions or certain things that your lecturers might want to share with you, but it's already after lecture hours. So sometimes they would get in touch just with the class rep or with the assistants. Had it been face-to-face, then there will be other roles, like, for example, you have to some photostating, some those kind of things. But this time you don't have to do that because it's ODL. But still very important, this one role is where you're supposed to assist lecturers in communicating with group members after lecture hours. All right, so I am done with what I consider to be important. Yeah, every semester I have students talking about not registering, not validating. Sometimes halfway through the semester they have emotional issues, or they feel really stressed out and whatnot, and they don't know who to go to. I mean, you have the counseling department you can go to, but you can also can also approach your mentor or your other lecturers. And we also talk about attendance. Some students saying they do not know that attendance is supposed to be 80% and whatnot. So all this actually have already been explained by Hisham, by HEA, but I've highlighted those because I believe those are the most important. Yeah. I'm going to the next one right now, which is talking about the program. And I would like to start first with the organizational structure. Not many know this, but actually the Asasi Tesl program belongs to both Pusat Asasi UiTM and the Faculty of Education UiTM. If you recall, when you received the call for an interview, you were asked to submit your videos and other relevant documents to the Faculty of Education, and that's because the program belongs to the Faculty of Education UiTM as well. All right, so let's just look at the organizational structure here. With Pusat Asasi, this is where we stand. We are directly under Deputy Director, Academic Research and Innovation, and with the Faculty of Education, similarly, we are also under Academic Affairs, Dr. Hamid here. All right. Now, what do we do? Why do we belong into different places? With Pusat Asasi, everything is handled by everything about you is handled by Pusat Asasi, the administration, the management, your exams, your assessment, dates, your extracurricular activities. A lot of the things that you do, you deal with Pusat Asasi. In fact, at this point, you do not even have to deal with the Faculty of Education. You deal 100% with Pusat Asasi UiTM. So Pusat Asasi UiTM is highly involved with you, despite the fact that it also belongs to the Faculty of Education. Yeah, but in terms of Faculty of Education, the program, the academic program, belongs to the Faculty of Education. So when we talk about the reviewing of curriculum, that's the reason why we want you to answer all those surveys, so that I can go back to the Faculty of Education and say, this is the result of the entrance and exit survey, this is the result of SUFO from our students, and we believe that we can use this information to improve the curriculum. And that's where the faculty comes in. We helped maintain good quality, high quality of the program. Yeah? And this is the faculty that we would like you to join at the end of 1 year. So the program is a 1-year prep program, 2 semesters. Okay, it's 2 semesters. If you fail one semester, one course in the second semester, there's a possibility that you may have to extend in the third semester. But we hope not, touch wood, we hope not, because if you do, then that means you cannot apply for UPU for degree placements. So you won't be with your friends, applying for degree placements. All right. It is an in-depth skill-based program where we focus on English language proficiency. Now, there were thousands of applicants the other day when we went through thousands of videos, but you are our crème de la crème, we selected you because we feel that your English language proficiency were top-notch. So you come in to us top-notch already, and so that's why now what we want to do is to make sure that you know more than you already do. So it's in-depth. It's no longer just memorizing of grammatical rules. It's no longer just answering comprehension question, WH questions, for example, no longer about memorizing essays for you to write essays. It's none of that at this point here with us. It's more in-depth. There are more, there's more thinking required on your part. There's no spoon feeding at this level. It is also a program which is an entry to degree courses in IPTA, public universities via UPU. You can also, of course, go to private universities if you like to, but you don't have to go through UPU for that one. And our main objective, as outlined by the Ministry of Higher Education, is to prepare students for TESL degree programs at UiTM and other public universities. Now, the policy allows that you apply for other programs. It doesn't mean that you have to go into TESL. Some of you may realize at the end of 1 year that TESL is not your cup of tea, and that's fine. That's also okay. TESL, which is Teaching English as a Second Language, as a degree program, is a program for preparing teachers. So we want people who really want to become teachers, or who want to be in education, not necessarily in school. It can be in school, it can be into corporate comm and whatnot. But some of you just don't want to do that, and that's fine. So you can go into other programs, which we will talk about later. But I just want to highlight the fact that you can, while we prepare you for the degree program, TESL degree program, you are also allowed to apply other programs. This is our program aim, and you can see here that I have highlighted several keywords which I believe are important. We want excellence, we want creative and responsible students who can support country's aspiration to be a developed nation. That's what we want. And everything we do in class is mapped towards this. This is our aim. We want you to excel. We want you to become creative. We want you to learn to be responsible, and we want you to be part of the country's process to towards becoming a developed nation. Now, this is the program learning outcomes. Okay, these are technical, but I just want to show you because sometimes when we start on something, we need to know what is the outcome, what is expected out of you. We want to be able to do all these 8, but through different programs, different syllabus, different courses. For example, if you look at PLO1, Program Learning Outcome 1, you're supposed to be able to apply basic knowledge and understanding of English language principles to address language problems. So we might do this, we might try to achieve this through one of your reading courses, or one of your writing courses, or through your college writing skills course, from some of the courses that you see it for. But there are 8 here, and again, I've highlighted points here, And if you can see, English language is repeated several times here. For example, PLO1, English language principles. Again, PLO2, competent English language skills. And you can do it. PLO6, English language proficiency. You are supposed to be able to analyze the issues. And then you can see that this is one theme that we're trying to achieve, that we want you to become excellent English language speakers, English language users. And then we want you to also be those who are holistic, because you should have, if you look at PLO 3 and 4, you should have social skills and responsibilities towards the society, positive values, attitude, and professionalism. So we're not looking for someone who is able to just memorize. Yeah, we want someone who is able to use that knowledge that they already have for the benefit of the society. That's why I highlighted the word society here. It's not just for you, it's also for the society. Even if it's just for several people around you, that's you contributing towards the development of a good society. So we also want, that's another theme, right? The first theme just now is English language. We want to be able to achieve or develop students who are good in terms of their language proficiency, English language proficiency. We also want someone who is who possess positive values, attitudes, and professionalism. And of course, finally, the last theme is in terms of your skills, your management skills, your managerial skills. So there are 3 themes here that you can see from our 8 program learning outcomes. So if you go to one of your classes and then your lecturers say, okay, I want you to go and look for 3 papers or 3 articles, that's us trying to see if you can demonstrate information management and lifelong learning. You learn something from what you have read to apply to what you are going to be learning in class. If we tell you, okay, you are going to present, for example, in your listening paper, we want you to present a demonstrative speech. That's us trying to get you to see, to achieve PLO2, for example, display competent English language skills and communicating effectively. All right, so you know there are reasons why the assessments are as such, why your lecturers do certain things, why your lecturers ask you to do a lot of things, because we want to be able to achieve all these 8. And we're not just doing this because we want to, no, because we know out there for you to be able to excel as a degree student and then excel as a graduate would be if you have all these skills. All right, moving on. As I mentioned earlier, our main objective is to have you into the BHEP Tesl program. And so I would like to just highlight that in order for you to be able to do that, you should pass all subjects. For a CGPA of at least 2.5. This is CGPA UPU, but only for Asasi students. It's a bit higher for other students from matriculation and STPM. You must also pass METC, which is the Malaysian Educator Selection Inventory Test. And then you must have obtained a Band 4. Right now, it's still Band 4. I know Madam Satya has mentioned that there is a change, but at the moment, it is still Band 4. But it's quite high. It's in order for you to get into the program. If you don't get Band 4, this is what I was saying just now. Some of you would like to go into the BHEP Tesl program, but you probably got a Band 3. So if you do it now and then you got the result Band 3, then at least you have one more chance to try again with your Mohd on demand and see maybe you can get a Band 4 for that one. All right. These are the courses that you have to register and validate. I'm going to repeat that again. Here we've got program structure for semester 1. You have TSL 014, 024, 034, 041, 051, and 082. The courses with TSL are all courses from the department. And so your lecturers from the department will teach it. But for CTU and IDA, it's from another department, Now let's look at TSS 014. We've got fundamentals of academic reading. So here, if you see here, 014, 024, 34, and 41, they are all based on skills. So this is what I meant by it being more in-depth. In school, you had this week you're doing listening and speaking. Next week you're doing writing. The other week you're doing reading. This time it's different. Here with us, it's different. For 14 weeks, you will do reading. For 14 weeks, you will do writing every week, or listening and speaking and grammar. And these are your core courses. These core courses contribute towards the generation of your UPU CGPA. For fundamentals of academic reading, as I mentioned, it's in-depth. So it's not just answering WH questions. It's you have comprehension questions. You do answer WH questions, but there are more higher order thinking skill questions. You will be asked to infer, you'll be asked to make conclusions, you'll be asked to share your opinion. That would be, and there are theories on how to deal with that, how to respond appropriately, and that's why it's more in-depth. It can be challenging, but it is definitely interesting, because this time it's not just memorizing, like I said, from my experience, I feel a lot of TESL students, they like to be able to express their ideas. So this is a good program, for all of you here. 024 fundamentals of writing. Again, no memorizing of essays, but really finding your own voice in writing it in a form of an essay, finding information to support what you have to say. In school, you're probably asked to memorize, or you're probably asked to just write whatever you want to write. You don't have to find support, but at our level, you have to find articles to support your opinion. The same thing goes into listening and speaking, where you have speeches, you learn phonetics, those very funny symbols in dictionary. That's what you will learn. You will have a lot of fun with that, because it's like a secret code. So you will definitely enjoy that with TSL 034. TSL 041 is grammar. And now some of you will say, oh, grammar, oh my God, it's so dry, it's so boring, but it's not. At this level, it definitely is not, because really, again, it's not just memorizing of rules and regulations, and memorizing regular and irregular verbs and whatnot. But it's more than that. It's really trying to understand why is it as such? Why is it not like this? And then you can share with your lecturers. Oh, I thought it's supposed to be like this, and your lecturers will then explain to you why it's not like that, and so on and so forth. 051 is college study skills. This is non-core introductory literature. One is also a non-core paper. College study skills is important because it serves as a platform to help you transition from school to university. Yeah, so there are a lot of topics like note-taking skills, time management, goal setting, and so on and so forth. So it's definitely a very interesting code. TSL 082, if you enjoy literature, you will enjoy this. I know some of you say, oh, I don't like literature, but keep an open mind. That's one thing I would like for all of you when you go into this program, or anything that you do for that matter. Always keep an open mind, and if in the past you didn't like literature, you may end up liking it after all, because it's really reading, and then after that, okay, let's share. What do you think about this character? Do you think she's okay? Do you think she's not okay? We talk about controversial issues. We talk about a lot of things. So you might end up liking the process. Okay, so keep an open mind. And then you have CTU and IDA, but I'm not going to talk about that because that one is not under the department. Yeah. So in the first semester, you have 26 credit hours. In the second semester, you have 24 credit hours. It's less than the first semester. Some of the courses here, as you can see, 015, 253, 542 are the second level for the 4 core courses in first semester just now. And then you have TLD 090, which is language and drama. We're hoping that things can go back to normal because students enjoyed themselves with drama. But last cohort, even though we had to do it online, students had a lot of fun as well. So we try our best to make it as interesting as possible. We try our best to be able to give you, if not more, a similar experience as those who did it face-to-face, yeah? And then we have CTU 072 and IDA 072, sorry, there's a mistake there, and again, that one is not by our department. So you've got 24 credit hours here. If you pass all the courses here, then you've got 24 credit hours. If you fail 1 or 2 of the courses here, then you will have to add from the 24 courses here, 24 credit hours here. And it's very heavy, so I really suggest that you try your very best, manage your time very carefully so that you don't have to repeat any papers. What is our emphasis? Earlier, I said that it's in-depth. So when it's in-depth, it cannot just be memorization. It cannot just be, extraction of information from the book and all that. We've got lots of lower order thinking skill questions as well as higher order thinking skill questions. In particular, higher order thinking skill questions, yeah? And then we have opinion-based questions, where we want you to be able to express your ideas, share your perspectives, your concerns, what issues you consider to be important. We want you to share all of this in class, because when you do this, dialogue will take place, will occur, and when this happens, you can't run away from the fact that the discussion will move from just lower order thinking discussion to higher order thinking questions. And this is important because if you're looking at it from an assessment perspective, your final assessment questions are hot questions, higher order thinking skill questions. This process that happens in class can help you to be able to understand how to answer those questions. But we're not looking at it only from an assessment perspective. We're looking at it also from the generation, the development of self. We want a thinker. We want someone who can lead. We want someone who's not afraid to express their ideas, issues, and concerns. Yeah. All right, and then of course, application of knowledge. All right. From all of that, you've got your grades and your scores. I think you will memorize this by heart one of these days. And let me show you an example how we arrived to whatever grade that you get. So an example is for fundamentals of writing, TSL 024. You've got midterm, in which though it is only 20%, assignment 1 and outline 15%, assignment 2, opinion-based essay 15%, finals 50%. So it's 100%, but let's say you get 12 over 20 for your midterm, 10 over 15 for your assignment 1, 12 over 15 assignment 2, and 40 over 50 for your finals. And when we calculate all that, you get a 74, and a 74 is 3.33. You pass, of course, but it is a B+. So you want to make sure that you keep track of where you are. Yeah? For example, after week 7, you sit for your midterm. The passing mark is 50%. Yeah. So if it's over 20, you should get a 10 to pass. If you get less than 10 of the full mark, less than 50% of the full mark, then it means that you have failed. So you want to keep track of that. And if you have failed, for example, in the midterm, you want to make sure that you ask your lecturers why you failed, how to improve yourself. We won't give you extra assignments or anything like that. So you really have to buck up with your assignments and your finals. All these courses here, will have textbooks 014, 24, 34, and 41. You will have textbooks. 082, you don't have a textbook, but you have a book that you have to buy, a novel that you have to buy. And how do you buy that? You can start buying from the first week of the semester. Your lecturers will inform you about it. The cost is around 350 ringgit. Which is an approximate. You won't go more than 350 at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. But you use the same books for 2 semesters. So 350 is for 2 semesters. Yeah. So in semester 2, you do not have to buy any new books. Only this one time. So it's a one-time process. I want to show you this one, and this is why it's important for you to have a calendar. This is something that all the lecturers can see. As you can see, we have TSL 014 all the way to TSL 082. The only thing we don't have is CTU, because that's not under our department. But the ticks here that you can see here, all the the green boxes here, are dates in which you will have your assignments to be submitted. And you can see that some overlap. Let me show you an example. Week 7 in TSL 034, you've got 1. TSL 041, you've got 1 assignment. TSL 051, you've got 1 assignment. Okay, but TSL 034 is a speech. So if you have already presented in week 6, then you have nothing to do for week 7, right? But what I want you to see is this. We've spread it all out as much as possible. We can't have a lot of due dates in the beginning of the semester, because in the beginning of the semester, there isn't much that you can do that we can assess. It's of course, understandable that it is towards halfway through the semester and towards the end that you will have a lot of assignments. So you want to manage your time. You want to make sure that you have your diary and you indicate all these dates. Your lecturers, when they come in for the first time, will tell you everything about your assignments. Okay, they don't give you assignment 1 in week 1 and then assignment 2 in week 7 or week 8. No, all your lecturers will explain about every form of assessment on the first class week 1. So there is no reason for you to say that we didn't know about this assignment and so on. Everything is given to you in the first week of the semester. Due dates are also given to you in the first week of the semester. So you need to manage your time, yeah? For TSS 014, for example, you see here there's one that's due in week 5, but of course submitting it is in week 5, but you have to probably start in week 2. And the same thing goes for let's see, TSS 082, there's one which is due in week 9. So you can see you're a bit, it's not that heavy for TSS 082, Introductory Literature 1, in the first half of the semester. All right, so this is important. Okay, very unlikely that the due dates will change because all the resource persons, the lecturers in charge, have looked at them carefully. They've discussed the nature of the assignments. So even though there are overlaps here, we know that the assignments, some are not heavy, some is just something that you could have done earlier. It is only heavy if you wait until the last minute. Okay, all right, so your lecturers will share this, don't worry. Where to? After Asasi Tesl, what do you do? Okay, this was something that we talked a little bit just now. There are various options in UiTM, but not just with UiTM. You can also go into other public universities. You can go into private universities as well, private colleges if you would like to. It's up to you. But of course, if you want to go into public universities, again, you have to make sure you have your Mohd, because it's an entrance requirement. Yeah, for private universities, sometimes it's an exit requirement. But for public universities, as far as I'm concerned, it's a entry requirement. So you must have it upon entry. You cannot wait until the end of the semester. At the end of the program. Going back to this, where can you go? You can go to the Faculty of Education. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of students think, I don't want to become a teacher. I don't want to become a lecturer. I don't want to have anything to do with education. So I don't want to go into the Faculty of Education. And as I mentioned earlier also, you don't have to become a teacher if you don't want to, but you can still be, with us at the Faculty of Education and not have to become a teacher. We have our alumni. Some of them are doing journalism. Some of them are with NGOs. Not all of them are teachers. And they all got those positions with a bachelor degree in education. So just to debunk the myth, because some students have said that they don't want to apply education because of that. And it's a bit of a shame if I don't address that matter. Of course, let's say you really don't want to have anything to do with pedagogy and psychology of education, sociology of education. So you've had enough of education, that's fine. You can go to other places. You've got the Faculty of Music, Faculty of Communication and Media Studies. This is where you can focus on, let's say, journalism or PR if you want to, information management, business management. Some of you, I know you're a generation of, online business. So it could be that any one of you are thinking of going into that. So Faculty of Business Management is the best place for you to go. Some of you are probably good with script writing, directing, that you feel the best place to go is the Faculty of Film, Theatre and Animation. We do have drama a little bit in education, but if you really want to focus into that, then and not wanting to have to do anything else, then the best thing is for you to do to go to the Faculty of Film, Theatre and Animation. And of course, we have the Academy of Language Studies. A lot of our students actually go, if they don't want to go to education, they want to go to Academy of Language Studies, where they learn English, the language itself, but at the Faculty of Education, you learn how to teach English, right? The focus is more on teaching. All right, even though it's okay for you not to become a teacher, but the Faculty of Education, we teach you how to teach. At the Academy of Language Studies, you learn about the language. You don't necessarily learn how to teach the language. And so that's the reason why some students prefer to go to Academy of Language Studies. There are many other faculties that you can go to, not necessarily these 7 faculties. With the exception, of course, with sciences, you can't take medic or engineering, because with that you have to have a science background. So these are some of the many options that you can consider. You might say, oh, I'm only going to do my UPU, fill out my form in April. You have to fill out your UPU form in April to decide what you want to do. I want you to remember to identify, though, to let you know, though, that the Faculty of Education, Music, Communication, and Media Studies are these 3 programs with interviews. All right. So you want to make sure that, as mentioned by Encik Hisham, that your first semester results are really good. Find out from now. You don't have to make a decision now, but find out from now. At least you keep an open mind, not just the Faculty of Education, Music, Communication, Media Studies, and whatnot, and see which one really is where your interest is. All right, coming towards the end, and a code of conduct for ODL. Now, I've a lot of friends who are teachers, and they have said that teaching ODL is really something they do not like, and it's no exception with us as well. We don't like it because there is no human interaction, face-to-face interaction, and I think this is what Tesl students and us Tesl lecturers, we are similar in this regard. We really enjoy face-to-face communication, being able to read body language, being able to really laugh at each other and so on. That's something that we can't really experience with ODL, but it is what it is. So we have to make the best out of it. Now, in class, there is a code of conduct. In ODL also, there is a code of conduct, And some of these points that I have here are points that can help you to succeed in your Asasi program. First and foremost, you have to study the materials uploaded on Google Classroom before the lectures. Don't wait until after the lectures, because if you read it after the lectures, that's when you have no questions to ask. You probably will be lost because your lecturers would have would have the expectation that you would have read it, because they would have uploaded everything, or at least on a weekly basis, for you to go through. So it is your responsibility to study the materials uploaded on Google Classroom before the lectures. Sometimes if you go through it before the lecture, that's when you realize that, I don't understand this particular topic or subtopic. I'm going to ask this question. And us lecturers, we crave for questions. We really want questions. But if you don't, like I said, if you don't go through it, then it's very unlikely that you'll be able to ask questions. And the next one is ask questions, and that's one of the code of conduct of ODL. It's just the same in a face-to-face classroom. You have to ask questions. You can't learn just by listening to us. You have to train yourself to think, train yourself to ask questions. And it's even more important on ODL because we're not there to see your face. When it's face-to-face, sometimes we can see you sort of, you cringe, or you're sitting uncomfortably because you're wondering, what is this? I don't understand. In a real class, in a face-to-face classroom, we can just go to you and say, listen, I think you didn't understand what I was saying. Can you want to share what's your concern and all that? But with ODL, with some of you not, with most of us not switching on the camera, we can't see that. So it's more on you, in order for you to succeed. With ODL, the autonomy, the power is more on you. We can give you the information. We can ask you questions, but if you don't respond or if you don't ask questions, it's very frustrating on part of the lecturer. But what's more important is the fact that your learning process will not be at the optimum level. Next one is respond to your lecturers and friends. This one is very important. Please respond. I think if you ask yourself, do you like it when you talk and nobody says anything. Nobody likes that. Okay, so I want you to try your very best to listen very intently to your lecturers when they give their lectures, when they ask questions in class, to respond and, just be an ethical and good listener. You respond when you have to, say yes, say no, or I don't understand, or ask more questions, But remember, those questions must be questions which have not yet been covered. You don't want to ask questions that has already been covered, because it means that you have not been listening. So be careful with that one. But respond. That's what's important. Respond. It's just polite to respond. Yeah. Take notes. Very important. Like I said, it's ODL. We're not there to check. If it's face-to-face, sometimes I ask my students, I want to have a look at your notes, because I want to see what is it that you have learned. I want to know whether you know what you're supposed to jot down and all that. And I've seen so many cases of students not being able to jot down properly. Their notes are all over the place, and I can help them. But with ODL, it's very difficult. So you have to make sure that in addition to asking questions and responding to your lecturers and your friends during lectures, you have to take notes. Okay, you have to take notes. We can record, but and you do have access to the recordings, but it's still not the same. Yeah. Switch on your camera. I understand that we have issues with sometimes the internet connection, or we have some students saying, the data plan, using the camera is not good enough. It's not good for them, in terms of their finance. But I would suggest that you at least switch on your camera when your lecturer is going to breakout rooms. Some lecturers will ask you to generate your own link, so that they can go into different links when they want to have individual consultations. And during that time, you should have your camera switched on. And that's why it's important for you to be well-dressed, the one that I showed just now, because you don't want to waste time and say, I want to go put on my jacket or my tudung and whatnot. Yeah. So switch on your camera, because if I don't see you, like right now, it feels a little bit lonely right now talking alone, and I'm sure you feel the same way as well. But if during lectures, if you do your part, your lecturers do their part, it can be quite similar to a face-to-face experience. Okay, and the most important thing in relation to code of conduct for ODL is that you should uphold your ethics. It's very easy to just cheat during exams, cheat during assignments and so on, plagiarize from the internet and all that. But I would strongly encourage you to uphold your ethics. If you ever have that temptation, make sure that you tell yourself, I'm not going to fall for that, because at the end of the day, your learning should reflect how much you have learned. Your results should reflect how much you have learned, not because you have copied from here or you have plagiarized from here and there. I mean, I can't see you. We can't see you. We can't say much. We have our methods of dealing with it, but otherwise, it's really between you and God. Yeah. Tips for success. How do you succeed? For your Asasi, which is very different from school, ODL, in fact, I feel that it's almost the same here with face-to-face. Remember God, family, parents, the close ones, the ones who are supporting you all the way. Be responsible and proactive. Don't wait for your lecturers to tell you what to do. Don't wait for your lecturers to tell you, read what you're supposed to read. There are a lot of things that you have to do on your own. Yeah, you have to be proactive. Respect others. As I mentioned, we share ideas, we share opinions, we talk about a lot of issues, and some of these opinions might not align with you. But that's the whole learning process, learning how to respect and understand, if not accept, others have about certain issues, and not be angered by it. You want to learn to respect others. You must have a thirst for knowledge. You must have that drive. If you're here thinking, I'm just going to go through it, go with the flow, with no thirst for knowledge, with no sense of motivation, no drive, it can be a challenging experience. And I really would suggest that you start telling yourself that I love this program. I want to do, this is what I want. This is what I apply for. And so this is what I want to do. You might, we have a lot of courses. You might not like grammar, but you like listening and speaking. Nobody likes everything, yeah? So that's okay. If you don't like some things, that's fine. But the thirst for knowledge will drive you, will help you to remain motivated. Your self-discipline, of course, is important. And this one, before I go into the next one, that's supposed to be the last one actually. Balance your academic and non-academic obligations. Yeah, your Twitter, your TikToks, your Facebook. Are you on Facebook? Probably not. Facebook, they say, it's for old people. So maybe not. But you've got Instagram. You've got a lot of those. Yeah. It's good to have access to social media because it helps you to connect with people, to see what other people are doing, but you have to make sure that you are not engulfed by it or obsessed by it. Yeah, we've seen a lot of students who are obsessed by it, that they cannot balance academic and non-academic obligations. Nothing wrong with any of the social media that you have. It's not a problem, but make sure that you know how to balance it. And finally, read here. Please read carefully. Read everything, books, articles, anything at all, magazines, newspapers. We have students who said, I don't like reading, and that's not going to fly if you are in university, because you have to read. And I'm not talking about reading textbooks, yeah? Remember I said just now we're talking about opinions, sharing of opinions and perspectives and whatnot. If you don't read beyond whatever is given to you in class, you won't be able to respond in class. You won't be able to contribute to an intellectual discussion. And that can cause you to feel some sort of inferiority complex. So you want to read, and it's English. You want to read English materials. You want to listen to TED Talks. You want to do all of this after class, yeah, because this would help you to write better, to speak better in your speeches, to share more ideas. And so reading is very important. I cannot emphasize more than I have right now, but reading is extremely important. I want to share with you, I'm coming towards the end already, I want to share with you some quotes, yeah, that I think should help you if it does. The first one is an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Yeah, this is an investment. Whatever you do today should be in service of where you see yourself 1 year from now. It's a 1 year program. Where do you see yourself? I see myself in the Faculty of Education. I want to do a BHEP Tesl program. Find out about what you need to have, what grades you have to have, and so on and so forth, and work towards that. That is your investment. Okay, whatever you do is your investment, and it pays the best, because that's what you want to do, right? And then 5 years down the road, then a year after this, then you ask yourself, what do I want to do 5 years from now? Again, invest, and invest. Reading, as I mentioned just now, read as much as possible, is also a form of investment. Okay, that one is by Benjamin Franklin. John Holt said, learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of the activity of learners. Who are the learners? You are the learners, but we are also learners, okay? We lecturers are also learners, but we can't learn if you don't speak. We can't learn if you don't respond, all right? But we know that we have the knowledge here, that we want you to demonstrate your understanding. Remember that it is also you, all right? It's mostly you, especially ODL. You have to ask questions. That's why I say ask questions. You have to take notes, because it is on your part that must be done consciously in order for you to be able to learn. All right, it's not just on us. In fact, there's not much when it comes to weightage. Yeah, it's not much on us. Yeah. Albert Einstein said that education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. All right. That's what we want you to become. We want you to become thinkers. We don't want you to become people who are constantly memorizing and not knowing exactly what you're memorizing. We want you to become thinkers. You're learning English, you're learning grammar, all right? And you're wondering, how does that lead me towards becoming a good thinker? A good thinker and a good speaker will be able to express their ideas grammatically correct, and understandable and comprehensible to others. That's where grammar comes in. listening and speaking teaches you how to express your ideas, and reading teaches you or gives you access to a lot of articles that will give you more general knowledge. At the end of the day, this is what we want to do with Asasi Tesl. Yeah? We want you to become, at times you have to memorize facts, but most of the time we want to train you to know how to think. Nelson Mandela said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And when I talk about the world, we're not talking about the entire world, right? Sometimes our world is our family. If you come from an underprivileged family, education is your way towards a better social status. If you have experienced injustice or witnessed injustice, education should help you to become the person to be able to deal and stop all this injustice and issues of a disadvantaged people around you. And finally, of course, by our Prophet, the best among you are those who bring greatest benefits to many others. At the end of the day, we teach you here. What we teach you here is not just for you. It goes back to our program learning outcomes. We want you to be able to contribute to the society, to your family, to the people around you, to your friends, and of course, at the end of the day, to the society and to the country. Okay? And so with that, I would like to say, enjoy your new adventure. You will have a great time with us. I can assure you that, but you will definitely enjoy your new adventure. Thank you.
Okay, terima kasih diucapkan kepada Madam Nur Hashima atas penyampaian taklimat itu tadi. Okey, berdasarkan ruangan live chat YouTube ya, saya dapati ramai pelajar-pelajar yang spam emoji love kepada Puan Shima. Mungkin mereka terpesona ya dengan Puan Nur Hashima berbicara dan cukup fokus terhadap apa yang disampaikan, kerana saya lihat tidak ada yang chat perkara-perkara yang di luar daripada taklimat. Cuma kita ada beberapa soalan ya. Pertama sekali soalan berkenaan dengan apakah peluang pelajar-pelajar lepasan Asasi Tesl boleh menyambung pengajian di peringkat ijazah sarjana muda dalam bidang psikologi ataupun art.
Okay, psikologi kita kena tengoklah universiti mana ya. Kalau rasanya di UiTM tak ada universiti yang menawarkan program itu, tapi saya tahu sebelum ni ada pelajar yang kohort-kohort lepas di UMS dan di USM, tapi bila kita tengok memang tak lepas, tapi yang lebih kurang adalah counselling. If you are interested in psychology, you're interested to listen to people and deal with, help them deal with the problems that they have in their lives, counselling is the next best thing. Tapi whatever I'm saying sekarang ni, subject to changes lah. Mungkin kadang-kadang ada universiti dia berubah kan dia punya syarat kemasukan. So please check, tengok dululah universiti mana yang ada. Ada counselling tu saya pasti memang boleh. Cuma yang psikologi tu sepanjang pengetahuan saya sebelum ni memang belum boleh lagi.
Okey, lagi satu soalan ni berkenaan dengan assignment. Difahamkan untuk semester ini pelajar akan belajar secara ODL. Adakah assignment yang diberikan itu assignment yang dibuat secara individu ataupun berkumpulan?
Dua-dua ada. Berkumpulan ada, secara individu pun ada. Kita punya objektif sebagai satu institusi pendidikan adalah untuk melahirkan graduan yang boleh bekerja secara individu dan juga secara berkumpulan. So ada juga assignment, tugasan yang perlu dibuat secara berkumpulan. Cuma yelah kita tahu kita tak boleh berjumpa kan, jadi online lah jawapannya. Cuma discussion. Dengan Tesl ni dia banyaknya discussion. Jadi perlu buat pertemuan Google Meet seperti sekarang ni, ataupun melalui WhatsApp, Telegram atau telefon, begitu. Jadi ada juga yang secara berkumpulan juga, tidak hanya individu.
Okey, nampaknya itu sahaja soalan daripada para pelajar. Untuk itu, terima kasih sekali lagi saya ucapkan kepada Puan Nur Hashima Muhammad Sukor atas kesudian bersama-sama kami pada petang ini. Dan para pelajar dimohon untuk mengisi kehadiran dengan mengimbas QR code yang akan dipaparkan selepas program ini berakhir. dan juga boleh klik di link kehadiran yang akan dipinkan di ruangan live chat YouTube. Itu saja untuk hari ini. So kita jumpa lagi esok. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan salam hormat.
Terima kasih Puan Wan.
Terima kasih Puan Hashima.